Heidi, it's so wonderful to see you here and finally to get to do a quick interview with you. I've wanted to for a long time, as you know.
I'm so glad this worked out.
And I'm really interested, this post that Jeff Busgang shared with me this morning, that you've written. I guess I'm horrified and shocked about what you went through, and you were just telling me that that's happening to women now. Wonder if you could just give us your thoughts.
Sure. Well, I think it's very difficult to comment on any issues related to women, entrepreneurship, women in venture capital. I think these are really, really complex issues. Yes. I get asked, as a woman, entrepreneur and venture capitalist, I get asked about these issues all the time, and I feel uncomfortable commenting because I don't know the facts of every specific case. So anytime there's a specific case and I'm asked to comment, I really have not felt comfortable commenting. But what I decided is, while I could not comment on things that have happened to other people, I could certainly comment about things that have happened to me. Yes. And my feeling about it was, if I were to at least express, these things happened to me and here's how I dealt with it, if there were any women out there dealing with similar issues, at least they would find perhaps some guidance, kindred spirit, whatever. I was very surprised that a lot of the response to the post was, oh my God, it would never occur to me that a woman would have to go through the sorts of things you went through. And it was very enlightening. Particularly, I found a lot of men who now are raising daughters and who are thinking about their daughters in the workforce. And all of a sudden, the idea that some man might unzip his pants in a meeting with you and shock you, that's, when you think about your own daughter in that position, you think a lot differently about how offensive that might be than when it's an abstract thing.
Yeah, yeah. And many years ago, I did that project on why women are funded less than men, and Tim Draper, who's obviously one of your partners now,
and who funded me when I was an entrepreneur.
He's great. He's definitely ahead of the game. Yep. He did say to me that he felt that the women, his partners, past and present, at that time seemed to be more intuitive and often saw more than the men around the table. Mm-hmm. And I just wondered what your observation, being a woman around that table, what your contribution is that you see where you add value.
Well, I think this is part of the challenge, is that anytime you say where women might add something different, you're also stereotyping. And I'm very careful about that. Yeah. So I think it really is more about diversity, different people, different opinions. Today, so many technology companies, 50% or more of their consumers are women. If you have that many women consuming your product, there might be something about women that if you've got a woman on your board, you might bring a different perspective. I mean, I'm on the board of DMGT, the company that owns the Daily Mail. Most of the readers, more than half of the readers are women. Okay. And when I read the Daily Mail or Mail Online and I bring my perspective to the boardroom, that's different than it is all my male counterparts. I was the first woman on that board. So I do think women bring something different. I think also just you want the smartest, most interesting people in the room, and if you're not allowing women a seat at the table, you're missing out on 50% of the population. So I think it just makes good business sense to do that. I do think that on the boards I've been on, I'm very often the only woman. And I also, though, as a former CEO myself, I'm often asked to give the CEO's performance review. I'm often asked to deliver bad news, be on the chair of the compensation committee, do the sort of the heavier, touchy-feely things. And I often find I'm the person who works behind the scenes to establish consensus when there's a non-consensus situation. Is that because of me and who I am, or is that because I'm female? I don't have any way to judge that. I can just tell you that's the role I end up playing in a lot of the boards I've been on.
And obviously you're friends with a lot of other women, both CEOs and venture capitalists in the Valley. Do you often get together and talk about this? Is that a general trend for the females that they end up with this?
I think it's very healthy that women are getting together in groups and supporting each other, sharing their stories and thinking about how they can help each other get ahead. Yeah. But the flip side of that is a bunch of women sitting in a room talking amongst themselves isn't necessarily going to move them ahead when you are still in industries where the vast majority of the power is held by the men. So I think you have to do both. I know in my world, the majority of my work time is spent with men. However, some of my closest advisors are fellow traveler women and men, but most of them women, of my key core advisors, those people that you have on your sort of personal board. Yeah. And we're roughly the same age, we've had roughly the same career, and we help each other out. And part of the reason I think we've attracted each other and we've sort of glommed together as a little group, and it's ad hoc, it's not, there's nothing formal about this group, is that we have shared circumstances where it's been different because we've been women. And so we can relate to that in a way that a male mentor might not relate to. That said, I've had some fantastic male mentors as well. I think, again, diversity is important in mentorship as well. You need to have people in different perspectives and people with different attributes and people at different levels of power as well.
I really like what you've just said, and I remember a couple of years ago I ran an event and a female venture capitalist said about me in front of me, oh, Pemo likes women. And I said, well, actually, I'm not sexist around men.
Right.
I'm just basically doing what I can to try and balance and support women, because actually at that stage there didn't seem to be that so much support. Right. So I agree with what you're saying. I think it's fabulous. Thank you so much for your time, and so great to see you
here today. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.